Hey, what's going on, guys? Black Mamba here. This will be part 2 of 2. So this will be just my light side characters. If you're curious about how I mod my dark side characters, that is in the video from yesterday. So here I'll break down how and what I use light side characters for. Here's just a general overview. Not as many Gear 13s because I like dark side much more. So yeah. Starting off with the 501st, typically a 5-mil roster at this point will likely have full Gear 13 501st. But for Gas, I used to have him modded for a lot more offense, and then when the meta switched to SL Kylo, I modded him more for protection and speed, not as much. Basically, the longer he survives, the more my team can actually do work. Especially if I need him to beat SL Kylo on offense while I use my SL Kylo to beat Rey, so in case they have both Galactic Legends. So I have him modded for protection all the way around, and then I have an offense set and a defense set just so I can still have a little bit of that offense because he still hits hard regardless. 5s I have modded for offense and defense as well. Some protection, not as much as Gas, but still a decent amount. Some offense as well. With speed here, I'm trying to find a protection offensive arrow. That's my goal here, but for the meantime I have 30 speed with an offense one here, protection and protection here. Echo, I used to have him modded for pure offense. I gave those mods to SL Kylo because he's now my meta team, my arena team, and I put a crit damage, crit chance on Echo. I do think offense set works better for him because his grenade is special damage, as well as just offense is better at Relic 7 than crit damage and crit chance. But this is just what I have available for my roster. Arc, I have him modded for decently fast with offense and health. I have him at 300 speed. I personally like to have him faster than Rex. That way, if in Grand Arena or Territory War, I'm facing against a Darth Revan and they have a Sith Trooper, I can clear the taunt with Arc, and then my Rex can do his power-up move, and therefore I'm not focusing on Sith Trooper anymore. I have Ahsoka Tano modded for crit damage and health. I like the health because she's in a Padme squad and health is always important in that. And then of course crit damage. She hits pretty hard, lots of critical damage, some good offense added as well. Rex, I don't have a complete second set, but the speed is all I was wanting to do. I don't necessarily find it all that important to have him crazy fast, like plus 170. I think you can find a better character to put that super fast set on rather than Rex, because Rex has so much additional speed at the beginning of the turn that I don't think he really needs it. Galactic Republic are pretty good. General Kenobi I have modded for speed and health, with a focus on HP on all 3 of these. I find that incredibly important in a Padme team. Some run full health, but I like to have the turn order to where he's over 15 speed faster than Anakin. That way Anakin goes last on when you turn everything upside down on the debuffs. And so in order to get him a decent speed, I need to have a health or a speed set on him. And then they're all 6 dot, obviously, because I'm about to get 7-star Negotiator. As you can see, bottom right, I'm 5 shards away. So, ready for that. Anakin, I have modded for offense and health. I do have a lot of potency in my secondaries, which is very vital to the Darth Revan counter. As you can see, I have an offense arrow with a lot of potency in the secondaries. Critical damage here with a lot of health added in the secondaries. Some good speed, crit chance, and potency with an offense primary. I love this mod. and then a health primer here with a ton of potency. So I have a lot of potency added for my boy Skywalker. He hits like a truck and does sticks those health immunities and buff immunities when I need him to. Padme, I have her modded for slow because I like to run the Darth Revan counter, and even without the Darth Revan counter, her modded slow still works because a lot of teams do debuffs, provide debuffs in this game, and if she can flip those around and just use them to her advantage and have her go last, I still find that to be very efficient. You can run her extremely fast, but for me, I have her modded at slow and healthy. R2-D2, I have him modded with a decent amount of speed, a fair amount of health and protection as he provides that, and some potency as well, because his stats are shared amongst his team, as well as an okay amount of special damage. C-3PO, I have him modded for speed and defense. I would love to find a speed and potency set, potency on these two, but for the time being, I have a fast speed mod here. The primary stat for me doesn't really matter for 3PO because he doesn't attack, and then I have a potency here. I love that offense secondary, but this is one of the faster potency primary stats I could find that has speed additional with it. I still have quite a bit of potency and some speed as well, and also the defense helps him survive in GOTB as well as surviving some AoE hits if I'm facing a Grievous in Territory War or something. Shock T, I don't have her modded crazy fast, just plus 107. She'll get a faster set eventually as I work towards getting better and better at the cam mission, but for now, she's not my highest priority on modding. As for the Jedi, I love these guys versus Grievous. They're phenomenal. I couldn't find a set that finishes Jedi Knight Revan, but what I have is just speed and some extra stats. So I have a crit chance here because it has a high speed secondary. I like him hitting decently hard, so I have an offense with speed in the works. And then this is just a fast critical damage mod that I wanted to put on Jedi Knight Revan because it has speed, but he is not very tanky, but still pretty fast and does a decent amount of damage. Jolie is just straight HP, although I have a speed primary on here, but the rest are HP with some speed secondaries, as you can see here, and tenacious as much as I can get him as well. So that's kind of my highest priority, because if he dies in a Jedi Knight Revan versus Grievous match, then that's game over. So GMY, I have him modded specifically for Jedi Knight Revan team. I don't use him with Padme, so I have him modded slow because it doesn't really matter with Jedi Knight Revan. He has so much TM gain, but he does quite a bit of damage. I'm going to take him to R7 as soon as I'm done with my GL Ray farm, but that's going to be a while. Bas Lashan, speed and health because she's just tanky in general. Decent on the health and protection combination, decent on the speed. Everything else is just there. Hoda, I have modded for speed and health. Eventually, I will get this guy to gear 13, but for the time being, he just evades as much as he can and tries not to die. But for now, I just have him modded for some speed mods. Primary stats don't really matter all too much on Hermit Yoda, as he is a passive character. I'm just going to touch over Old Republic a little bit. I have my mission Vow at crit damage and crit chance. She is pretty healthy and a decent amount of potency, but her potency stacks anyways, and some good physical offense with a lot of crit chance, so she'll be critting quite a bit and doing a lot of damage. Zalbar, I have him modded for a lot of protection tenacity. So we have protection here, 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 and there. As you can see, he also has tenacity and health. So he's going to be kind of a pain to deal with. 122,000 pretty much protection. Speed isn't too relevant on him with almost 100% tenacity. And so he's going to be pretty dang tanky. Rebels, I have Han Solo at crit damage and health. He doesn't really need the crit chance, so I have him with a health set, as whatever I can get him to be a little bit healthier and tankier, the better. So decent amount of offense, not the best. As you can see, his crit chance is so high, it doesn't matter whatsoever. He's going to crit no matter what. But yeah. Chewie, I have modded for pure tenacity because if he gets dazed or stunned, it's kind of the worst. So I like to have him to be able to survive as long as possible. Still a good amount of physical offense, but I like having that 151% tenacity, so he is able to still assist. CLS is a work in progress. I still need to develop my rebels a little bit more. Again, I'm dark side focused, but for the time being, he has a plus 120 set, crit damage triangle, some good potency to land those buff immunities, and TMR. But other than that, he's just, I try to make him not too tanky because I want him to get guard no matter what team I use. But yeah, that's my CLS for you. Ahsoka Fulcrum, you'll see, has a Zeta. Back when Basilesh Shan, the Jedi version, first came out, I used her with that team and Grandmaster Yoda, and her Zeta was insane. I would one-shot GKs, I'd one-shot GMYs, one-shot Basilas. She was just a force to reckon with. Defensively, it didn't really do all that much, but offensively, it was so much fun to use. So that's why you see an Ahsoka Tano Fulcrum Zeta. Resistance, I have a long ways to go for Rey. Anyways, JTR, I have modded for crit damage and potency. I might change this up once I develop a better resistance team, but for the time being, she hits kind of hard, and I like having potency on her as well to land the mind tricks. BB-8, I have him modded for a lot of speed, so plus 121. His other stats don't really matter all that much, so you'll see a defense and defense here, as he doesn't really need primary stats to be exactly perfect. Vet Han, he's only Relic 3 because I have SL Kylo, no other reason for it, but modded for offense. he kind of hits kind of hard, it's kind of nice. Rey, crit damage and health, but I have her at 82 speed with some decent offense and crit damage. Some Scoundrels to point out, I have Relic 7 Nest. I like having her very tenacious and slow, as she's a pain in the rear to deal with going up against her. 164% tenacity, a mere 23 speed. If I could get that slower, that'd be better. Some crit damage and health and protection balance with some decent offense. L3 I have for health and defense with a focus on protection on these three. If I could find health percentages on this stuff, I would like to do that, but for the time being it's just protection. But even with that, she's still very tanky and gonna be a nice addition to some Scoundrel teams. That will be all. Thank you for watching, and if you guys are watching my GACs and are curious how certain characters are modded, here are 2 videos that you can watch in order to look back and say, oh, he has him modded for this way. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys.